The girl's back.
Welcome home.
Hey, thanks.
How'd it feel last week watching us podcast without you?
I'm a little upset.
Well, it's not the first time, but it is the first time you didn't even know we were doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I felt a little betrayed. Mm-hmm. I didn't know you were going to do that until I saw it on Instagram. And then I texted you, and neither of you responded for a bit because I would imagine you felt guilty. And I couldn't.
When we were podcasting, we were doing our job.
I just
we have to put out an episode every week.
Yeah, but you could have told me. I mean, I was in your wedding. I helped you bury your dog. You know what I mean?
Is it Barry or Mary?
I helped you bury your dog.
Oh, yeah.
I held the shovel. I was at your wedding. I married you. Show the picture. Show him the picture. I was there. Show him the picture of when I helped you bury your dog.
Was Hannah a caterer at our wedding? What was
and
I don't know.
I have to find out via Instagram that you did a podcast without me?
When we killed our dog, they just took him back and disposed of him.
No, I was there.
You buried it in the
I
back
buried
of that
it in the back.
vet clinic?
When you said back there, she was the one that was back there.
Yeah. I don't actually work there.
Wow.
It was just part-time for you because I want to make sure that they didn't bury it in a bad spot.
You just volunteer?
upside down
I
or
volunteered
something.
for
I volunteer
you.
to bury dogs.
Yeah, so they go
I'm
in
normal.
good spots. Because sometimes, if you bury a dog near some roots, some tree roots, they're going to get gobbled up. They're going to become a tree monster.
Wouldn't the roots prevent them from getting gobbled up for like a more
No,
like
they
a,
get and then they go up into the tree. And then you ever see a tree?
they get
Wait, what was
sucked
the
up
root
into
noise?
the tree?
Okay.
You ever seen a tree that really sways? Dog in the roots, swaying that tail.
Well, I mean, this is becoming my favorite type of podcasts are where I learn something. So if you bury a dog next to it, too close to a tree, over time the roots will coil around the dog, pull it underneath the trunk, suck it up into the tree.
Yes, in time.
And then it wags its tail if it gets excited.
Yeah,
The dead dog.
That's
and
why
it sways the tree.
That's why they sway.
That's why they sway a little harder.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it does mess with the rings. When you cut down a tree, look at all the rings and how old it is. It takes it back because dog ears and tree ears are different. So it actually takes away a few rings. So next time you cut down a tree and you look at the rings and it looks a little off, go dog tree.
Yeah, so do not bury your dog too close to a tree, or one day when that tree is chopped down, it will be harder for the scientists to tell how old the tree was.
Yep.
Wow. I'm glad you're back.
I miss this.
I miss this so
I miss this so much.
bad.
To all our first-time listeners, this is how we usually go.
Yeah. Just so you know, when you're not here, we're gonna podcast.
I
And
know.
same, when I'm gone, I hope y'all podcast without me.
Sometimes I
Hope we have a
won't be
great
here.
time.
I'm not mad that you podcast. I'm mad that you didn't tell me about it. Please, in the comments, let me know if you'd be upset. You'd be upset that your best friends in the whole wide world did a little podcast and didn't tell you. It's like planning a sleepover and then being like, well, you were out of town. I want to know.
Still invite me.
Still invite me.
No, it's like doing a sleepover that happens every Wednesday, and then you're
It's-
out of town for a week and be like, you did that thing that we plan on every Wednesday?
Yeah, even then you could be like, hey, miss you. We're doing the sleepover.
It's like a sleepover that has corporate sponsors that require a certain amount of sleepovers to happen each month.
And sleepovers have that sometimes.
Yeah, if you don't do the sleepover, you don't do mega bed in the basement, you will get sued.
Yes. All I'm asking is you could send me a little selfie.
For wellness.
Welcome to.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know Carter? Have you talked to him before?
I love Carter.
Yeah.
I think Carter's
You
so...
were upset that you didn't get to talk to Carter.
Yeah, that too. I think he's so talented. I've seen him do some freestyle rapping. What do they call that?
Rap battles.
Rap battles.
Yeah.
I'm white.
He body bags, guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he puts them in a body bag.
That's what he says.
Lyrical
Lyrically.
genius.
Lyrically body bagged.
Yeah, he's so good. I watched
Yeah.
some of the clips when I was listening to the podcast, and he's just so quick.
Yeah.
I've seen him do some stuff on stage. He's so funny, so fast.
And just in case you're watching this on YouTube, we got to say this real quick. Why are you dressed like that? What are you doing?
This is how I always
Yeah.
dress. I always look like this.
You're just
I-
pretty laid back and, we're cool. We
Yeah,
hang out.
look at
8
us.
a.m.
Look at us. We got sweatshirts on.
Yeah,
And
we
hats.
throw axes at bars. That's a new thing.
Yeah, what up?
Guys, I got my corporate job back now.
Oh God, that's how you
I'm
tell
going
us.
to-
Heavy CPA vibes right
I'm
now.
going to a funeral right after this.
Oh, that's funeral drip.
hilarious that you brought it up. A funeral drip, yeah.
Is that
I
funeral
changed it.
trip?
I'm not going to wear this shirt to the funeral, but I didn't want to be changing pants.
Yeah, it's different than
And,
IV drip. Because
Hey,
someone died.
Well,
All
I mean, there could
right,
be some IV drip because
Sorry.
someone died.
Yeah, who died?
going to my brother-in-law's grandfather's funeral. So
Brother-in-law's You didn't know.
the great-grandfather of my niece. Does that help?
Thank you. Thank you.
And I did not know him, but I'm about to learn a lot about him today.
Yeah.
And Clay, my brother-in-law, officiated my granddad's wedding. He was like officiated it.
Wait, no, you said that wrong. You said Clay officiated
not the
your
wedding,
granddad's
funeral,
wedding?
Funeral.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
No,
wait, what
Clay
does that
was
have to
not
do?
I was like, what?
Yeah, my sister married a really old guy.
For love.
Yeah. But no, Clay officiated my grandfather's funeral, and today's his grandfather's funeral. And he did not ask me to officiate, which I took some, it's his grandfather died, so I'm not going to call him out about it
Yeah.
today. But
Well, do you
maybe
want
he'll
to
hear
do you want to
this.
say something right now?
I feel like I should be the one officiating it.
Yeah. Do you want to pretend?
But-
Just pretend that he's
Yeah,
laying
what do
right
you say
here.
about him?
All I
Open
know is I'm
casket
gonna-
vibes. Eyes up.
As I'm there observing it today, I'm going to be really critical of whoever is officiating it.
Or you really don't want to? Can you do like a little fake one if he's like he was
Yeah.
lying right
This
here?
is becoming disrespectful.
Is
I
it?
really am.
Oh,
very
I was
reverent.
gonna.
Yeah,
team
just-
up
just
to
give
do
us-
that. Yeah, just if you don't know him that well, just here
give a
lies
eulogy?
Nathaniel, Nathaniel's grandson's brother-in-law, to say a few words.
I will not. Okay. But thank you for asking.
That is the most disrespectful, honestly.
Yeah, it is. I would have gone right in.
Yeah. Sorry. All right.
Yeah, too soon, I guess.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Cool, cool.
too soon.
Have you ever spoken at a wedding? I mean, funeral?
My granddad's, I did.
Okay.
I cried.
Did you cry?
Yeah, but you wear sunglasses. It was outdoors, so I was wearing sunglasses.
nice.
I never cried in sunglasses before. Not a good look.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's kind of like
And you gotta do that.
it's kind of like you're like kind of just talking weird, but they're not seeing your face move the crying stuff. So it just sounds like you're talking bad, and then all of a sudden you're just wet down by like your mouth.
Yeah, just a little wet.
It's not cool to cry in sunglasses. If you feel like you're about to cry, take off your sunglasses.
It's cool in the movies.
Do they cry in sunglasses?
Yeah, like a really like a standoff, and then he's like, actually, by the way, I took your daughter, and then one tear comes down from the thing, and he's like, I'll get her back,
Yeah,
and that's the whole.
I don't think it's ever happened in a movie.
that's a lot of movies.
Have you ever seen the movie Taken? That's exactly how that movie goes.
Is he wearing sunglasses?
He's wearing sunglasses. Liam
Thing
Neeson
is-
is wearing sunglasses that whole movie.
Actors
Roll
don't wear
the tape.
sunglasses that much because
You can't emote.
it inhibits their ability to emote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good acting hack. Just hide your face.
Oh,
Yeah.
hide your face.
It's how they don't.
The Jabberwockies got it down.
They do. They're all crying when they dance. But you'd never know because they got those masks on.
Because
They don't have stage
that's
moms.
why they wear the masks. They're just crying the whole time.
Have y'all done a wedding?
What do you mean?
Have you officiated a wedding?
I did his wedding.
Oh, that's right.
Not that-
Show the
Other-
picture.
Other than that,
My father officiated my wedding,
What?
not Hannah.
have you done a wedding?
No, I got asked to do one. Didn't feel like I could.
I'm probably gonna get married in about a year and a half or so, maybe.
Hey, yo,
And
spoiler.
Drop that on the podcast.
That's not an official announcement. Y'all kind of knew that, and she also knows that, so it's fine.
I just didn't know it was a public, throw
I
down
mean,
the gauntlet.
yeah.
Sorry, ladies, your time's up.
You lost him.
Yeah, it'd be a year. I mean, we just moved in together and signed a 2-year lease, so I'm gonna be in some big trouble if we
Sin.
don't get married. Yep, living in sin. Come on.
And it's it.
Both of y'all's names have been thrown around as officiants.
Which one does
Oh my
Courtney want
gosh.
more?
Can we do it together?
Can we do it together?
Whoa! Let's do a live podcast on the altar.
We do the alternate words. It's like do
You
Aaron,
take
Courtney.
to bang
That could be pretty good.
for the rest of your life.
Gosh.
All right. Well, now that we know
Just so
that,
you know.
it's going to be fun
That's
to
fun.
see who you ask.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, now when we know
Oh,
the
the
other one
person's
gets
gonna
it,
be
I'm
mad.
going to go, oh, I'm not going.
Yeah. I have a feeling based on how the last 20 minutes have gone that if we ask you, you wouldn't really care. If we ask you,
I will burn the wedding down.
it'll be the red wedding.
It will be.
If we podcasted and didn't tell you and you're this mad. Oof. All right. Yeah.
That's so
or you
exciting,
think
though.
she'd be more mad if she got asked like super last minute, like clearly a fill-in?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
No,
like
I'd
she'd
rather
be
see-
like-
Hey, what are you doing
she'd be like-
Saturday?
I feel like she would say yes, but then she would sabotage the whole thing.
how funny it would be if you text me and you're like, what are you doing Saturday? And I responded, going to your wedding. You go, oh, yeah, we got a gig we got to do. And you like set me off and I couldn't be at the wedding. Like you needed me to pod here by myself.
Yeah.
Or you guys were at
Could
your
you
wedding.
do a solo podcast while we do Aaron's wedding?
Yeah.
Because, we got to put him out.
It'd be a lot of talking about dogs getting eaten up by trees.
Slurped up.
Slurped up.
He gets slurped
Sorry.
up by the roots. Yeah. Like a straw. It's like a
noises.
straw. It's like a dog straw to heaven.
Yeah.
So ASMR Hannah dog tree slurping.
Yeah, Yeah. Your wedding's gonna be so fun. How many weddings have you been a groomsman in?
22 or something, 21 or 22.
A groomsman in the wedding?
Like
Wow.
you're 22 people's best friend.
No, that's not what that means.
I mean, so one of them.
two.
One of
I've
their
been
best
man
friends.
twice.
One of their best friends. Yeah, you're 22 people. One of their closest friends.
There's at least 5 or 6 that I was a last round draft pick for
last
sure.
round
They're
in.
just gonna. It was like the bride had like 12, and they're like, I have 7 friends. You're fun. You've been in weddings.
I will say that's a bad situation to be in, to have to spend all the money of being a groomsman, but you're like, I shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, there's a lot of them early too. There's a band that I used to do their like music videos called The Less, and they all got married. And they're like producer, a guy I knew through them. It was like 7 weddings in 2 years. I was in all of them. So there's stuff like that. Also, growing up in the South, or if you're like, I have no thoughts. My pee-pee feels weird. I have to get married, and everyone gets married at like 19. You know
I
what
love that that's how you said that. I have no thoughts. My
No,
pee-pee.
that's what they say.
That's what they say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
They-
big meeting?
I've
They
heard
say
that
that
word
there.
for word a lot.
Yeah.
I have no thoughts. My pee-pee. I don't have a pee-pee, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I wasn't trying to be insensitive. I just didn't know. I don't have
Don't
that.
discount our experience.
I would never.
So you're saying you went to a lot of weddings a long time ago.
I was in probably 13 weddings by 24 years old.
That's so many,
There's
Aaron.
a lot.
I get that it's fine to get married that age, but your brain literally isn't fully developed.
A lot of them are divorced.
Really?
A lot of those marriages are over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's I know a lot of people have had very successful marriages getting married that young.
You think
But-
you'll ever get divorced?
Oh, good question.
I don't.
Okay, good.
He has to say
Thanks for
that.
asking.
I hope so.
Anna listens to the
I hope
podcast.
you
He
don't.
has to
You
say
know,
that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I also hope you don't.
Thank you guys so much. I was wondering if you guys ever were hoping I got divorced.
Not me. Aaron might, but not me because I officiated it. Show the picture.
I love that we just give Seth little assignments that he has to do. We're just like, hey, can you, on a spur of a moment, can you do this thing that's going to take you 30 minutes?
Yeah, well, no one said yet.
That's
Oh,
true.
Aaron.
We've been very
Or-
good. I'm so proud of you for not doing that this episode.
I don't cuss anymore.
It was
Yeah.
our cleanest. It was our cleanest episode when Carter was here.
That can't be true.
And you weren't.
It was.
I don't think we had a single bleep, did we?
We just
Yeah.
had 5 right now.
But I was doing a bit because
Yeah.
it was clean. I ruined it.
Ruined it.
Yeah.
No.
It's like a sarcastic sex scene in a movie doesn't make it R.
Totally.
No matter how much nudity there is, as long as it's sarcastic.
Y-
We need to have guests. Probably. But
hand us back,
we
but
do
it's
have
not
some,
enough.
We do have fun things to
Wow.
talk about today,
Oh,
other
yeah.
than just our random
Yeah.
meanderings.
We had some very fun shoots this past week.
We did.
I don't know what the hell Andrew did.
I
We
did
had a good time.
I did
Hannah,
my
what'd you do last
successful
week?
stand-up comedy career
Yeah.
this
yeah.
week.
And we're so proud of you. We really are.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
to prove why you have a CPA outfit on.
You ever seen Seinfeld perform, dude? I'm not even halfway dressed up enough.
Yeah. I mean, you do look sharp. Not trying to.
Thank you.
You are wearing short sleeves to
I
a
wore a
funeral.
golf shirt. I have my shirt and my tie over there. I just didn't want to wear
he's
it
got
on the
his full like
podcast.
Best Buy Geek Squad Mormon outfit over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Nice. Got him.
Yeah, I didn't want to be wearing my tie. I thought
Best
it'd be too distracting.
Buy- yeah. Geek Squad
So I
Mormon
decided
is
to
so
wear-
specific.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd wear half to make it more of a question.
You know what is funny is that whenever I do go to the Best Buy here, I am often approached by like Mormon people being like, hey, do you have a second of your time? And I'm like, why is it always Best Buy? Also, why am I going to Best Buy?
It's because it's the same uniform.
I'm pretty sure those are Best Buy employees just trying to sign you up for Geek Squad.
Oh, they're doing a good job by starting with Mormonism because I'm a little bit like, I could learn more.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I got a Geek Squad membership for 8 years.
I think it's just yeah, it's just convenient. It's the same uniform, you know. So
Yeah.
you get off your shift and you just walk outside and you're like,
I'm
might
on the
as well
clock.
tell people about the good news.
Love it.
Geek Squad. Sorry, this is a tangent. Geek Squad for Best Buy is just they go and help old people plug their stuff in, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
Because like no one our age has a Geek Squad situation. It's
No.
literally for old people that don't have kids in town.
Yes.
They can like grandkids.
Childless
they can come
old people.
fix stuff.
Yeah. Tough.
And Best Buy was like, there's actually a huge market for this.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Those guys
old
are making
people are
bank.
watching TV now,
Yeah.
so we gotta make sure we can make a lot of money off them.
And they all have remotes and they're freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have old people's houses. They have 6 remotes,
Too many.
and you're just like, how could this possibly
Yeah.
all be doing stuff? It's like if you want to turn up the volume, you got to use this remote. If you want to turn down the volume, you got to use this remote.
Why is that so accurate though? I remember being at my grandparents' house and there were multiple remotes. And one
This one
was for
turns
the
it on.
stereo.
This one turns on the box. This one's for the sound.
Yeah.
This one, for some reason, is the only one that changes the channel.
Because theirs was a sound channel and just the box itself. Like, because the cable was separate, had its own remote than
Yeah.
the remote for the TV itself.
Then there's one remote that
Wild.
has like a screen for some reason. And it's
Yeah.
like wider. And you're like, what does this one do? And there's like, that one does everything. And you're just like, well, then why do you have all the other ones? We're like, well, we never really learned it, but we have it.
But we haven't.
Yeah.
Grandma, that's a phone.
Today's episode is brought to you by 4 Wellness. They make delicious, good-for-you products. My favorite lately has been the Good Stuff, which is their coffee powder. I put a scoop in my morning coffee pretty much every morning. It tastes great. It's got like a mild cinnamon flavor, and it helps fight inflammation and gives you kind of a nice calm energy. So I very much recommend that. If you are interested in the Good Stuff or any other 4 Wellness products, you can go to their website, use code Andre for 25% off your order. That's ANDRE. Do it. Back to the episode.
I did have a fun shoot last week. I was in Florida, Stewart, Florida, to be exact. I was hosting an upcoming reality golf competition show called The Grid. So it's like long drive, a bunch of long drive athletes, 4 guys, 4 girls. And they do a series of challenges, golf related and not. I mean, they kind of merge both, and they're like competing for money at the end. And yeah, season 1, I think, should drop in January.
Oh, it's quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. At least that's what they were telling us. So
That's exciting.
Sounds
did,
awesome.
Did you say, the grid is here, film away?
Nice.
I didn't say that. I could have. I should have.
Did you have a catchphrase? Hosting catchphrase?
No, but I did
like
have.
the tribe has spoken.
I wish.
Yeah, you get to extinguish anyone's torch.
Oh no. But I did get to. Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
but there
well, do
were
you know what you
moments
can
where
say?
I was like, there were some fun twists where they would, have like a benefit or a punishment if they did something. So they set up some things that made the competition have twisties and turnies.
Nice.
Okay.
And I did have to. The only thing I realized I was trying to be conscientious of saying was, how are we feeling? Because you ask them that a lot. Because it's a lot of the sound bites are, I'm disappointed in my performance. I let the squad down.
Oh, yeah.
My PP wants to go no.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
You get
that's
that many
not.
athletes together.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're in 3 weddings that week.
I wish. I wish.
Next thing you know, you get hand, foot, and mouth disease.
From all the. Never mind.
Nope.
Anyway, that sounds like so much fun.
That's great.
Did you feel like you were good at it? You were good at hosting?
I do think I'm good at that. Mainly because a lot of that is it leans into improv so heavily.
Yeah.
It's not a super script based because you don't really know. I think so many things can happen. And the director's kind of throwing like, hey, this is what we're thinking. We're going to mix things up because a lot of things would change. You have an idea for the day, but anything could happen. And you kind of want to chase the thing that's very entertaining. And that, I think, lent itself to improv in a fun way.
Yeah.
So
That's
my
awesome.
brain was like, oh, great. Yeah, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants. It was fun.
That's so fun.
Give some shout outs to your favorite cast members. I know our old friend Martin Borgmeyer.
He was, and he
there?
crushes it. He's so good on camera. He gets so into. Remember when he talked on the podcast about you need big personalities
Yeah.
for this? He's so-
UFC style
he
storylines.
is. He's so committed to that. Like I think he genuinely believes in like growing long drive, and he knows what it needs to get bigger. So he commits really hard. And I know sometimes that can be hard when you're like an athlete transitioning into being an actor, but he just gets it. He was really fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
awesome.
Any other standouts for you? They're like, I'm going to be a fan of this person forever.
Alexis Belton, through and through, always.
ATL.
Yeah, she's an ATL homie. Just love her in general. She was great. She crushed it. Gabby Powell, Cassandra Meyer, all the women, they ruled. I'm always, I'm a team girly. The guys everyone really was great. The cast was so fun. And we were doing like, Top Gun style, playing catch in between takes. Kind of felt like a cute little family towards the end. It was really fun.
You were dropping some dimes. Saw that on Instagram.
I was dropping some dimes. And Bobby Ray, it was really funny because Bobby Ray's like such a football boy. And he's like, what if I run this route? I'm gonna run a post. And I was like, this is so cute. It reminds me of when I was with my brothers. They get really into it. They shuffle their little feet and then they go and catch the ball.
Yeah. That's just running.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, running around. Okay.
It does seem like it's fun. Like most professional athletes have another sport that they're like, I wish I was doing that one.
Yeah, well, especially those men because they're all so big. All of them played football, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Sam, Oh, that was the most interesting part. Martin Borgmeyer had never thrown a football before. Never
Whoa.
touched one. That
So
Wow,
European.
that's so funny.
So
He's throwing it like a rugby ball, just like underhand.
he the whole week was like standing like this, just big buff, and he's like the alpha. Everyone's like, Martin's the best. You know, he's a world champion. I threw a football at him, not knowing, and he freaked out. He's like, and he smacked it down. He hit it down.
They don't catch stuff in
He
Germany.
didn't catch it. He's like, what? And then he goes, what do we, like, you know, in his accent, what is this? What do I? And then he took the ball and threw it. It just threw it like this.
Oh, just
Yeah.
straight like shot
And
put.
It really did blow my mind. I was like, Martin, what? And I forget that I guess Germany's not really a football country.
Well,
I think so.
you're clearly prejudiced. That you just assume that all people that look like Martin can know how to play football.
You're right. I really did.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And that's on me. And
You learned a lesson.
I'm reflecting now.
Yeah. Good. We're all learning.
If all professional athletes want to be athletes in a different sport,
Yeah.
what's your version of that? Do all comics want to be in the circus or something?
They
Nice.
do say that most comedians and actors secretly want to be like rock stars, and most rock stars like want to be comedians.
I get that. I could also see
Because there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages that are like the opposites in each place. Like musicians, like famous musicians, get so tired of their fans wanting them to play their old stuff, and comedians are like, I wish I could do my old stuff. I didn't have to write a whole new thing every single
yeah.
week. And then the touring is obviously a lot easier as a comedian because it's just like you, and they have a microphone, and then you're all set. And
but also more lonely.
You're all lonely, but but the whole time you're just like, yeah, I wish I had 4 other dudes that were part of my thing that I just hang out with all the time. And then band members are like, I hate these people. I wish I could just do this by myself. Like, there's so many things that are like the
True.
opposite, but it's still similar enough that I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of like, oh, I wish I had it like that.
Andrew, how often, because you're a stand up, I'm sure you get this, do people ask you, tell me a joke?
It's usually only, it's always after a show, and a very old man will come up to me, and they will. It's not so much
A
they want
Geek
me to
Squad
tell them a
customer.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Geek Squad customer, and they will.
he's confused
they wanna
because of your
tell-
outfit.
They want to tell me a joke,
Oh,
and it's always a little racist. It's never like so racist, but it's just it always has hints of racism, either in the setup or the punchline.
yeah.
And it's not their joke. They didn't come up with it. They heard it, and they were like, "I just really want to tell you this." I'm just like, thank you.
What is it with
so
old
much.
men?
How did you get at the green room? I'm just, is this someone's person? They're just like, oh yeah, we just don't really guard the door. I was like, okay, cool.
He just asked. He's like, I want to go back there. I got a good one.
A lot of times, if I'm at a church, if anyone that's a member of a church has ever been backstage before for any reason, they're like, I can go backstage anytime I want.
Yeah.
I know how
real.
to get to the green room now.
That's
And
real.
So they'll find their way back. But then on a flight, if I tell people I'm a comedian, most people will be like, "Oh, tell me a joke." I bet you hate when people say that, and I'm like, "Yeah, I hate the whole thing you're doing."
And yet we have to sit here.
But I'll usually tell people I'm just. They'll be like, "What do you?" If they ask me what I do, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm a budget analyst."
I mean, yeah.
No follow up questions.
Yeah,
And then
that's what
conversation
I
killer.
used to be. So they have follow up questions I can answer.
True.
And then they go, yuck, budget analysis, yuck.
Yeah, but then
know
I
what
probably
it is.
do that, and it's probably like the booker for Jimmy Kimmel. He's like, "Oh, I thought you were that comedian I saw on YouTube, but I guess not." I just wanted you to tell me what jokes you'd want to do on TV. We have an opening tonight.
Anyway, budget analysis and analyst.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back to sleep now. Don't disturb me for anything. Not even if you have a really good joke. I don't want to hear it.
But I feel like you're so good at hosting stuff like that and doing the improv along with like all your new golf, and also like you're a golf fan, but not like so unjaded. Like you're still excited by like learning about stuff,
Totally.
which is like the perfect attitude for somebody that's doing what you were doing. I feel like.
Yeah, I love it. I will say I could use less people telling me tips.
Yeah.
Swing tips or like hosting tips?
Just golf. Any golf tips. I get that everyone wants to help, but anytime I tell someone I'm new, I want to say 8 times out of 10 they have a tip, and I'm like, I just think it's fun for right now. So long story short, I'm gonna start hating golf soon. I'm just letting you guys know. It's gonna start hating golf soon.
You're just gonna have a lot more ideas like our human centipede advice sketch.
Oh yeah, that
where
one's
it's
great.
just like
I
somehow
just-
they still don't get the message of like, hey, just don't do this.
I know, and I think people have the right intention because they're excited, but I am shocked by you tell someone you're new and they're like, "What's your swing? Like, what's this like?" And you're like, "I don't know. Are you doing this? Are you doing that?" I'm like, "I
You're
don't
just
know."
like, you're not taking practice swings, are you? You can't take a practice swing.
Guys, give me this arm straight. Are you doing that? Are you believing? Are you keeping your eyes? Are you thinking about prosperity while you?
It is well. It is wild to give someone a golf tip when you've never seen them swing before.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened that much. Is that a distinctly female experience?
I would imagine. But it's also funny is that females never offer it to other females. I'll be like around all these like women who are really good
golfers. You don't want
golfers.
each other to get better.
Yeah, and I also think women are just kind of like, you're just existing, have fun. And the men are like, I must fix her. I have to fix her now.
To get better.
Because like it's just so fun. It's also really fun during the grid to watch some of these like, those girls can hit the ball.
Oh yeah.
Watching them just warm up and watching like Cassandra hit it 350 off the bat and like Alexis, it's crazy. Like that's very far. What's the
That is
farthest?
so far.
What's the farthest you can hit it?
You measured.
315.
Really?
That's like the far. Like if I hit it perfect.
Yeah, I'm
and hard.
curious because I don't really know sometimes the average in comparison. I also saw Martin hit it 450 or around there.
Jeez.
Rolling, and I'm like, that is absolutely wild. It looks so far when they really crank it too.
Yeah.
Off the
yeah.
tee
It
box.
just is in the air for so long.
different.
Yeah. Hang time.
Well, in a few minutes, we're going to talk more about how maybe soon these balls are going to be going less far.
We are going to get into the
But
golf
before
ball
that-
rollback
Yeah, before that.
conversation.
Aaron, you also had a fun trip.
Had a very cool shoot last week. I'm not sure what all we can talk about.
Oh, cool.
But
we can just talk about the balls
it's with
then.
Ford Bronco. Ford Bronco.
I love your like before we started like and I can talk about my shoot.
No, I just can't. I can't go full details. I don't think. I think it comes on January or February. Hopefully, it premieres
Copycat?
the same time.
Copycat?
And we'll fight. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Lauren Healy. Those are two of the best and biggest like rally drift drivers out there. From what I gather, Vaughn is like the Tony Hawk of that world.
That's
He has
cool.
a company called Fun Haver. Pretty good.
I love that.
And it's all about souping up Broncos and cool ass car parts and going out off roading and having a blast. So
Fun Haver LLC.
I think that's what it is. It's
amazing.
Isn't it great?
That's so great.
And yeah, so they've worked at Ford Bronco and souped up these couple Broncos, made them golf carts. And myself and 3 other golf creators went out to Johnson Valley, California, right next to Joshua Tree, and played 3 insane holes in the desert. It was so fun.
The pictures look so cool.
It was so cool. It felt very Mad Max, the landscape. Like you just look out and see a Bronco hauling ass on this, sand flat bed and it's kicking up dust everywhere. It's so cool.
Blaring the Mad Max music. Just
Yeah,
the guitar.
there's the
a
dude.
guy tied to the bed of the truck
Yeah.
playing guitar.
Can I ask a silly question? You're out there hitting in the sand. Does it feel like you're hitting out of a bunker every time?
Good question.
So there are 3 holes. The first one is more like desert, like you'd think of California. So it's
Okay.
like rocks and pebbles and hard
okay.
sand type thing.
great.
Yeah, which we brought old clubs because we were dinging up the
Okay,
clubs
okay.
and whatnot. Second one is like sand dune, and that is like bunker vibes.
So what were you hitting mostly? Like a sand wedge?
So the first one,
I guess you're not having to get it out of something.
yeah, the first hole is a super long, like over 1,000 yards teeing off a mountain in the desert. Well, very cool.
you're teed
So
up.
that we're hitting hybrids, drivers, all that.
Sure.
Second one is full sand dune, so we're hitting like a wedge, and it's not a long hole.
Can you? How do tees hold up? How do tees hold up in the sand like that?
We had to break them because they didn't really stick down far. In the first hole, the
Okay.
desert hole.
Oh, okay.
And the second one, obviously, just goes straight down because it's like bunker. So, we
Yeah.
just
So
go
kind of
to it.
unusable.
It's like one of those hotel outlets at a hotel that doesn't quite grab your charger.
That's exactly it.
Oh, and airport.
Dusty Slate, very great comedian, great bit about the loose hotel outlets.
What's his angle there?
I don't even remember, but I know it's very funny.
Yeah.
I was
That's
like,
one,
I think it's there's some innuendo,
oh,
I believe.
can't go into that. We're sponsored
Yeah.
for wellness.
But
We don't talk
use
about
code
the
Andre.
pinkies and the no-nos. Huh?
Are you still finding sand on yourself?
minimal sand, which was nice.
That's good. Did you
Yeah.
fall at all? I feel like walking in sand, you just fall sometimes. Not you.
I had
all
a
of us.
couple. There were some rocks we traversed.
Yeah.
That was the cool thing with. That was a good word, right? Google it if
Yeah,
you
you
need
got
to.
it. You kind of ruined it by calling it out, but yeah.
Yeah. You said nice. I don't know. Going to each hole, we'd get in the Broncos, and just the first one, we went up a mountain that any normal person would say a vehicle cannot go up that mountain in those rocks. I'm talking boulders that are 6 feet tall. They find a way. And the wheels are extending and dropping down, and we're getting over these rocks. It's insane.
Those cars look like spiders when they do that.
Yeah, really.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're in the car the whole time? It's not just the...
No, we were in the car.
Whoa.
I think they might have done some B-roll the next day,
Okay.
but they took us around everywhere.
It was like classic, like, do not do this at home.
Absolutely. And the second one, the sand dune, you had to get a big old start up one side of the mountain and do a U to get enough speed to go up this other sand dune. It was crazy. But the first one with those rocks, we had to get out, and they park those MFs on the side of rocks. It's like this, and you have to get out. I'm on the death side.
Yeah.
And you're like, my foot's slipping, and I'm holding on to the Bronco. It's insane.
And you're like, do I just sign in like a
We
waiver?
didn't sign anything.
You're like, I gotta sign a waiver for this kind of thing? Lordy.
They're so fun, adrenaline junkies. And the content's going to be unreal. It had, for an unscripted show, I think the ending's going to be amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Like such a fun, ridiculous thing that happened that we all freaked out about in a good way. That's a good little teaser.
Somebody
That is a
Right,
good little,
Seth is
what a
there.
little cliffhangy.
Yeah,
You had to suck rattlesnake venom out of somebody's leg.
Yep.
And then you had to use it, you actually straightened out that rattlesnake and used it as your driver.
Those noises.
So it turns out we did see it coming, actually.
We did,
Yeah, I knew exactly what was gonna happen in the
We
show.
all knew it was rattlesnake related.
Yeah. Wait, is it gonna be on YouTube or is it gonna be on telly?
I think YouTube.
Okay, cool.
But it was big, TV level production. I mean, some
looked like
DSLR, a couple bigger cameras, but
Did you feel like you reflected your skill level well? You feel like you hit them good?
yeah, it was all right. There were 4, I would say, personality first golf creators. You know what I mean? They didn't get any of the pros out there.
Would you consider yourself one of those?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were counting yourself.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, we all play
You think
golf
your
and are
personality is
solid.
better than your swing?
I said forward, not better.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If people watch our content, they think, oh, they're fun or funny, hopefully, and they're not like, they're so good at golf.
Yeah, they're
Like
not.
some
They're not
creators.
about to not be able to do the podcast
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're getting invited on tour.
Right.
They're
So
just getting
we were-
invited to go play 3 holes in the desert.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're all pretty much same skill level, and we all hit some good shots, hit some bad shots. The sand dune hole, I slipped on
no.
the tee shot, and that didn't
And
work.
was it quicksand?
It felt like it.
Well, driving off of sand is not a very good footing.
Well, we hit a wedge, but it's just
Oh, let's say the second one. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm so
Good
excited.
and bad.
The pictures looked really cool.
It is going to be really cool, I think.
Yeah.
That rules.
Yeah, Seth did a behind the scenes video, and the screen grabs is what you saw, and they're
Yeah.
just
Wild.
Crazy looking.
It looked genuinely wild.
Yeah,
it looked so
that's
fun.
great.
Oh, that rips. Can't wait to see it.
what the hell did you do this week?
I was bouncing around the country this week. I was in
Fixing computers?
No, no, not. I could have. I feel like I could have if an old person had called Geek Squad and I was like, you don't need to wait for them.
I
Let
got
me
you.
turn this off, turn it back on.
Yeah.
I was in Springfield, Missouri, and then Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then Tampa, Florida.
Wow.
And then today I go to Knoxville, tomorrow Indianapolis, and the next day Tuscaloosa.
Whoa, is that all
Holy
for stand up
moly.
or funerals?
So I might get divorced. Going back, yeah, it's mostly
He said,
funerals.
he's doing a tight 5 at funerals. He's like, I know everyone's upset, but I got some stuff. I got
Yeah.
some fun bits.
Yeah, I kind of say that. I was gonna say I keep a police radar for any deaths, and then I find out where the funerals are going to be, and I just kind of, as I'm touring for stand up, I try to attend funerals in the mornings.
Gotcha, it's like wedding
It like
crashers.
that
but-
gives me life. I don't know what it is.
That's a dark but funny bit of someone who just goes around to funeral homes. He's like, hey, I got this service. When things get a little sad in there, throw me up on the podium.
Yeah, it's called funerals.
Yeah,
It's called fun havers.
fun havers.
Fun hatters. 'cause
Fun
they're dead.
hatters.
All right.
Yeah, nice.
Pretty good.
But-
I haven't done that in a while.
I know.
I was not
real good.
alone.
Yeah. You earned
I
it.
was talking about me still.
Sorry.
I I
Me
was
so.
not alone
Me
the
so.
whole trip. My brother joined me in Tampa, and my show was Friday night, and then he's having a baby. His wife's having a baby in January,
Whoa.
and so I was like, we should hang out together before then,
Yeah.
as like a baby bachelor party.
Because you'll never see him again.
Yeah, but just the life's gonna be different.
Yeah.
Probably can't just go Tampa for one day randomly.
Yeah.
So he came,
Baby bachelor party.
and then
Every baby's a bachelor or
yeah,
bachelorette.
they're all
Hey-o.
bachelors. You're born a bachelor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, except in some cultures. That's not true. There's no culture that commits their child before it's married, before it's born to be married.
Maybe.
Princes and princesses.
That's true.
But they know before they're going to marry this person?
I don't know. I just feel like when you're a prince or like a princess or a queen, they're like, hey, this, you're going to be marrying a little prince.
Our firstborn will marry their firstborn
yeah.
type of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like my firstborn, like I feel like Game of Thrones rules.
Yeah. That's real. But my brother came, and so we did a 1-day like baby bachelor party. So first night after my show, which went late, we went to the casino. Immediately both lost $200 playing blackjack. But
How quick?
I mean, hour and a half. We had
Okay,
fun.
yeah,
We still
yeah,
had fun. But it is so weird that the casino in Tampa is just like a regular casino, except they still have the COVID partitions up at the blackjack table, so you're like in your own like plexiglass seat. I've never even
weird.
seen it anywhere.
Yeah.
Weird.
And it was so weird because instead of 6 people like normal, you could only sit 4 people. And my brother and I like couldn't even talk to each other because there's like this big plexiglass wall in between us. And they had weird rules too. Like there was one time like I was almost out, but I got a hand where I needed to double down, but I didn't have the chips I needed to double down. So I was like, "Hey Garrett, can you give me the chips I need to double down?" And he like handed them to me, and the dealer was like, "You can't share chips." And I was like, "That's never been a rule anywhere I've
Says
ever played."
who? Yeah.
And I didn't know what to say. I just kind of panicked, and I'm not good at confrontation. And I just looked at her and I just go, "But we're brothers."
Oh,
And she literally goes, "Okay, I just can't see it. You gotta do it under the table." And I was like, "But we're brothers worked?" That was awesome.
she's like, I'm also a brother.
Yeah, she's like, "I have a brother. I get it. You
Yeah.
gotta."
I
And
lost
then,
my
and then I
brothers in the
immediately
war.
lost my double down. So I was
Oh,
like, "Well, I wish
no.
she hadn't." But then the next day we played pickleball at Nathan, our friend Nathan's yacht club, took us there. Got
Wow,
to play
Rich.
pickleball at
I was
the
gonna
yacht
say,
club. Have lunch
Rich is
there.
right.
Then when we watched the Georgia-Alabama game,
I didn't
my
see that. That
brother's-
didn't happen.
My brother's a huge Georgia fan. We went to a sports bar and it's mostly Alabama fans there, and it was tough for him.
Yeah.
But then we went to Burn Steakhouse and made everything better. It's the best steakhouse in the whole world.
Really?
Very, very good.
I think it's my favorite like restaurant I've ever
Really?
been to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Worst food. What?
You had alcohol poisoning, not
I
food
did not
poisoning.
have. It was food poisoning.
Did you have a skinny margarita?
From
Didn't sit
Burns?
well on
You
your
know how
tum
often
tum?
I drink?
From Burns?
Yes.
No.
I think it was an oyster.
I took a tour of their kitchen, which actually the fact that they give tours.
What does
of their
that mean? That
tours-
means nothing could have been poisoned
Means a
in
bunch
here.
of civilians are back in the kitchen all the time.
Aaron, I have a feeling, as someone that you publicly told us you eat Crystal, and you were fine. It was the alcohol.
Okay,
From what
have
you
you
told
have
me-
you drank with me?
But from what you told me
Yes.
of that day was that it was
I'm
a
big time
special
tank.
drinking day.
Dang.
Big time tank. Like convoy.
That doesn't
tank.
mean you can't get alcohol poisoning. Like you could have had something that didn't sit well with your little tum tum.
Okay, maybe that.
Yeah.
We did have some old antique wine because their wine
Like
cellar is
dessert
apparently
wine?
the best.
So did you do a tour?
Oh, we went up to the dessert room and had dessert wine.
But they give you. I didn't know this.
We
They
didn't do the
told
tour,
us.
no.
One of our friends asked us, or we saw some of Brooke, my friend Brooke's friends at the yacht club, who goes to Burns like every Friday night. She was just like telling us all the stuff you got to do, and she was like, "Order the house red wine. They don't tell you about it. It's $8, and it's just like they blend their leftover super nice wines every day, and it's like, and it was the best like red blend I've ever had."
Oh, wow.
And then she goes and ask them to give you a kitchen and a wine cellar tour. And so my brother and I were just like, "Can we have a kitchen and a wine cellar tour?"
We're
and they were like,
brothers.
it was like we said,
We're
that, it was like,
brothers.
"But we're brothers." Our voices crack every time.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was like you just said the password, and they were like, "Yes, you can." And we were like, "Okay, great." And then they take us to the kitchen. They like show us. They make 9,000 gallons of French onion soup every year because they like serve it to everybody. So they're seeing all that. Then they take us to the wine cellar, largest private wine collection in the world,
Whoa.
which is insane.
Yeah.
And they have like 180,000 bottles at the restaurant or something, and then they have like hundreds of thousands off-site, like close by. So you go walk through this crazy wine. It feels like a great scene for a horror movie. It's just like aisles and aisles of. It's like 56 degrees and just aisles of wine. They're showing us bottles that cost like $150,000, and
That's crazy.
and then we went to the dessert room upstairs. They have their own little private lounge that's just for special place for dessert. So
That's so good.
Can you imagine a flex of being like, I want your $50,000 bottle of wine? Just
People there
'cause.
do it.
they do it there.
I bet.
People
That's
go there.
insane. There's a lot
of, like,
because
mob
of
vibes.
the wine.
Yeah,
it's
what
like
a flex.
where you would go if you wanted to do that.
That is crazy.
And,
And what's it called?
But my brother and
Burns.
I shared a steak. So.
Did you really?
share a steak?
Well, you get like the Delmonico for 2, and it's like 14 ounces, and they
How much was that?
cut it up. Dude, we got out of there not bad. I think our dinner plus the wine was like $150.
That's not
And
bad at
then
all.
Dessert was
Amazing.
probably like 40, and then we had like espresso martinis before. They were probably like 30. So it was like, for what it was an incredible
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
way to do it. So
That rules.
Burn Steakhouse,
I'm gonna
new
go.
sponsor, please.
Check it out. You'll vomit your off.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, it was great.
What a
I had a
promo
great
for
time.
them.
Loved the food, but something happened. and I clogged a sink.
Clogged a sink?
A sink?
Yeah, it was Colin, our old guest, at
With,
his house,
with vomit, right?
with vomit.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I didn't think you were that
No,
flexible.
I did a screaming eagle. Okay, I'm not proud of it.
That's one of those
What
that
the
I've
fuck
never
is
known
that?
what it is,
Sorry,
but I know
Frick.
that I don't want to know what it is.
I don't cuss anymore, but that
Screaming
warranted it. What the
eagle
heck is that?
Is when you have to do, but then you have to
Badoo.
va.
Oh. You had to do both?
It's simultaneous.
So you're
Full
painting the
sploge.
wall.
Full sploge.
This podcast is foul.
So
An
I was
absolutely
Sorry,
foul
Burns. I
pod-
really tried to give you guys a nice shout out.
I had a great time, and I'll be back. Okay.
I can't go there.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been,
just to
I
say.
think if you asked me within the first year and it was fresh, I'd be like, no, close that place down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
over.
burn Burns.
Nice.
But no, it was Colin's house. He was playing with the Rays at the time, our old baseball buddy Colin.
Yeah.
And that was our last night on that trip. It was very fun. I still feel bad about this. But yeah, Screaming Eagle. So
On his floor?
Are
Or
you
like,
sure
where the
that's what that means? I feel like in middle school that was one of those like sexual position names that people would like throw around.
How would you know? You wouldn't.
Well, I would never know what they were talking about, but I knew what
I know.
the topic was.
like an Alabama hot pocket.
What is that?
You
Let me just make sure.
That's not a thing.
It is a thing.
I want to figure out what it is.
I don't know if people do it, but I know the definition is,
Do
and
not
it's
Google
not
this,
good.
Mom.
An Alabama Hot Pocket is that it gets too warm, you can't eat it right away.
Ew, dude. If you knew the context, it's so bad.
There's a bottle of the first thing when I typed in Screaming Eagle on Google is a bottle of wine called the Screaming Eagle, and it's $945.
And it's made of vomit and doo-doo.
It's made of vomit and doo. Dude, Screaming Eagle is
That
like
makes
a
it
wine
so
thing.
good.
Wait, Screaming
I
Eagle
gotta,
Urban
I
Dictionary.
gotta find the Urban Dictionary page.
Wait, I'm gonna look up.
My friend
Alabama
Johnny,
Hot Pocket.
he's been known to Screaming Eagle.
Can you look that up? Pause this, but that way you'll have to actually
Producer
say it.
Paul, Screaming Eagle.
By the way, I do have a mulligan from today. Hannah had a great idea that we should have a segment where we talk about our things we wish we could do over
Thank you
this
for giving me
week.
credit.
And it happened right when I was pulling up here, and I parked in the parking lot, and then
What? Time out. An Alabama Hot Pocket?
Don't read it.
What is wrong with you?
I said in middle school, you
Aaron,
just hear this as a
Look it up
joke.
for yourself, Aaron. That's messed up. Sorry.
yeah, it's not what you're talking
Type
about.
in Screaming Eagle vomit doo-doo and see if something comes up.
It is not a safe for work thing to
no,
Google.
it's a sex thing.
I cannot believe you said
I
this.
love that you came out of the bathroom
Thank you.
and a $1,000 bottle of wine.
Ew. Wait, is there a combo of those two?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I like the idea that you came out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
I hate
Why'd you
it.
look it up?
Because you said it and I thought you were making a little riff joke and then I saw it and now I can't unsee it and it's really bad. You're a bad guy.
I think less of you.
I didn't
I
write
think
that.
less of you for knowing it.
My favorite thing, it's very stupid. Urban Dictionary, your name.
Hannah?
Yeah.
You've looked it up?
No, just every
Freak.
name. It's either that person wrote it or it's someone who was jilted by a Hannah.
Oh, okay.
I just like that on this trip you were on with Colin in Tampa, you came out of the bathroom, you're just like, I just Screaming Eagled. And
Yeah.
they might have been in my camp of only knowing the more horrific version. And they're just like, what?
Who else is here?
They're just like, wow.
But yeah, we had to leave the next morning, and Colin had to unclog the sink.
This is not that mean. This also just
friendship.
is, this is a compliment.
He's a
That's what I'm saying.
plunger?
They either Hannah wrote it or someone who got broken up with by a Hannah wrote it. It's either
Okay.
so nice or so mean.
Because Urban Dictionary for Hannah is badass girl who doesn't care what others think. She's not good at expressing feelings or emotions. Not true. I cry all the time. Is partially broken, but has some hope. All right, it's pretty accurate.
I'm looking up.
I love that like there are like deep meanings of names. Like Andrew, like from like Greek or something, means strong and manly.
Ooh,
Not to brag. But I'm sure if you typed in Urban Dictionary, it would be something like that. And that's
weak, feeble, soft boy.
yeah.
Wow.
Who do I believe?
Andrew, that's a really good one.
Let's see.
Andrew is that guy in class that will make you laugh until you cry. He tries to impress everyone and usually succeeds. He'll always put a smile on your face with a joke. He
What
does
the
that.
heck? That's you, pal.
And even if it's not that funny, you'll still smile because of his charm. He underestimates himself. He's smart as hell, and he's not afraid to tell his opinion, which are usually compliable.
Is this your groomsman speech for my wedding?
No.
Because you're winning right now.
Do you remember my really good joke from your wedding?
I do. Yeah, I remember that you had to ask me ahead of time if it was okay to say.
I was just making sure.
Aaron is a sweet, loving, caring guy who will never let you down. Being near him will give you butterflies and make you ungodly happy. Did you write this?
I feel like Aaron wrote all three
Get to
of
the
these.
Alabama Hot Pocket part. Oh, I love doing that. Just kidding.
I hope
Aaron's joke at my wedding was he said, Andrew's the most Christ-like friend that I know, and that his whole career is based on nepotism.
that rules.
Because his dad's...
Jesus
That's better.
is the first Nepo baby.
It also says Aarons are usually handsome, but you never really know until you tell them, which I don't know that I get.
You tell me, you're like, hey,
Aarons are usually handsome, but you never really
I feel like
know
we were
until
talking
you
about
tell
something
them.
interesting, and then I don't remember what it
Oh,
is.
Oh, you
Screaming
were talking
Eagle.
about
Screaming
mulligan.
Eagle really derailed us.
Mulligan. You were talking about mulligans.
Oh,
My
yeah.
really good idea about
Thank
mulligans.
you. Yes.
Do you want to do that again?
I had a mulligan right before this. I pulled into the parking lot, which, by the way, we of all the podcast studio parking lots, ours has the most homeless people guarding our cars while we're doing this.
That's true.
But I pulled up, and then right next to me, Paul pulled up right after and parked next to me. So I got out of the car and decided, producer Paul, and I decided I would just stand there and wait for him so we could walk in together. So I stand there for like 4 minutes, and then Paul gets out of the car. It's not Paul, just another white guy.
Oh,
And so
that'll happen.
it just looked like I was waiting for this guy to get out of his car, and then finally he was like, "Well, I guess if he's not going to leave, I'll just get out." And then we just kind of walked in together and didn't talk.
I don't like that.
I don't know that
And I wish
I
I
like
could
that
redo
you
that.
talk about Seth that way.
It was not Seth. It was not Seth. It was a different guy,
Seth is on camera.
and felt like I was just about to maybe murder that guy in his eyes, probably.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And I'm
dang.
wearing like this half suit. It's pretty weird.
With no tie. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Was that an example of me like saying something that was like not that funny, but still kind of made people smile? Like,
I think so. Is your charm sold it?
yeah, thank you so much.
Your charm sells everything. One of the most charming and also very funny.
Thank
Definitely
you.
the guy in class I would have looked to and said, tell me a joke. And then I would have looked at Aaron and the whole class and been like, is he handsome? Can't tell.
Can't tell. You
Can't
can
tell
never
until I
tell
ask
until
him.
they say.
And I wouldn't have asked him.
We got to get out of here in like 5 or 10 minutes because Andrew's a death doula.
Yeah, you can't be late to a funeral.
Death doula is a great term.
That's a job.
What?
What is
That's a
it?
job.
What is it?
You know,
What's the job?
so a normal doula, it's
what's
kind
the
of
show?
coaching a new mother having a baby, and so it's kind of ushering families and people into death.
Like before
I had an
die?
Uber driver.
That's
you
just
know,
a
we just started
cryptic
talking. You're like, "Is this driving full time?" That's everyone's first question. They're like, "No, I'm a death doula." What?
Your Uber driver was Death. Crypt Keeper was the guy from, he was a Dementor.
Yeah, had a scythe, which was hard to drive with.
Yeah.
but,
It is. You got to hold it out the window. It's a pain.
yeah, death
How do you grip
doula.
the wheel?
Doula. Do they start helping them before they die, or is it the family after they die? They shepherd.
good
they
question.
shepherded them into death.
I think it's either, but this was like I think hospice was their main thing. So it's
Oh.
like this person's probably gonna die in 2 days.
It's actually a very admirable cool job.
It makes sense.
It just sounds way more like evil
It does.
than it is. It's actually really sweet. Lots to think about.
I have a little mulligan too. It's from 2 weeks ago because you guys did a podcast without me. Whatever.
You just wish that didn't happen.
That was my mulligan. Is that I wish I could go back in time and not be hurt like that. I can't do that. My mulligan is that I made the massive mistake of flying Spirit to LA to visit my brother.
Oh, we should have talked about this at the very beginning.
Oh, it was brutal.
You flew all the way to L.A.
Yes, dude.
Direct.
Yeah, direct and both flying there and flying back, over 8 hour delays going home. I spent 2 full days at different times just hanging out in the airport with plugins that slip out like a small
Yeah, loose outlets.
like a small winky dinky in the no.
All right.
Because that's probably the joke the guy was making, right? Because it's sexual.
I don't think he was that overt about it, but
All right, well
That's
that,
such an outrageous comparison, but it was such toddler words that I think we leave it in.
I think we can leave that in.
No pun intended.
How expensive was your Spirit round trip?
like $250 and then
Yeah,
plus
see,
a bag.
this
So it's
is-
like
yeah.
so cheap, it was fine.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, this is why people fly Delta. Because and I don't know what it is. It's every time I fly to LA, even when I fly Delta, I have a problem getting out of there. It's like LA doesn't want you to leave.
Yeah.
Like stay here.
LAX is brutal.
It is brutal.
can add
So
that
that's
to
my
the Hannah
mulligan.
Urban Dictionary.
Sorry, Spirit. I don't even care. Y'all are the worst.
They're not trying to.
Whoa, there's a potential sponsorship out the window.
Dude, if we get sponsored by Spirit Airlines, I'll bow out. I cannot do that.
I'm good.
It is. I used to try a bit on stage. I feel like other people probably thought of this too, but it was like being on a Spirit airline flight and there's like a medical emergency and there's like there any doctors on board? And everybody's just like, no, of course
It's
not.
spirit.
There's a guy that's just like, I used to be. Like,
But then I lost my license because I was
But then
practicing on the
something happened.
patients. I was human centipeding all my patients. What is wrong with me today? Also on the way back, I sat next to a man who took his shoes off on the flight,
that happens a lot.
bare feeding the
not
flight,
okay.
and he kept doing this into me. So the foot was just there.
He'd put his
and
basically in your lap.
would rub his little foot next to
No.
him and then hold his hand. I've never seen anything. And that flight from LA is 4 hours. So he was doing a lot of this. He was like, he also did the man sit, and he's in the middle. So I had to keep slowly.
The
my
man.
leg-
I love that anybody who's not even watching will immediately know what you mean.
Yeah,
by
you know what I mean.
Man spreading.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like your legs are longer, but he just kept. I watched him. I think it was a power move. He kept trying to like slowly, and so we kind of had to have like a battle of the knees.
just slowly.
But then he would do this, and there was a foot, and I was like, "You win." I'm not touching that.
On the flight?
On the flight.
You can't cross like that.
No,
On the flight?
with a
No.
bare foot, with a
Unless
crust,
you're
those
on the
crusters?
aisle and you do one of these where you're like mostly in the aisle,
Yeah.
but then you get bumped by the cart and
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
I'm a very conscientious flyer. I try and like kind of stay in my
Same.
space and just be because I get it.
It's part of being
awful.
a good citizen.
Yes.
Is being a considerate passenger.
It was
And
brutal.
a lot of people don't do that. I mean, she was rubbing his bare foot on the same
Yes.
aisle as you.
Yes.
That's one where you can hit the call button if you want.
Say what?
Yeah.
I need to eject. Throw me out the plane.
So speaking of sorta, we'll get you out of here in a second.
Cool.
Relax.
Just chill.
We're going to Palm Springs, a small plane. Seth saw this, and the back of the plane is pretty open, so I just like moved back a couple rows, spread out, and on takeoff, it's one of the smaller planes. There's no distractions. There's no screen. You know, there's no plug. I'm just staring forward like it's medieval times, and
Medieval airplanes.
the restaurant or the time. This
Just watching the show.
we take off and the compartment above fully opens and all the masks goes and I'm talking 3D like hit my nose and I about died. Did you hear it, Seth, or did you just see it when you look back?
I looked back and saw it.
It was
I
like
made a
like
noise. I was
Jack
like,
in the Box.
I was like, it just fell in front of my face. Yeah, and it was just my compartment.
Whoa.
So they like give you a voucher or
She was very nice, and she came back, and I was just sitting there. Once like 10 minutes later, when they can get up or whatever, she tapped me on the shoulder, being like, as if I opened it, and I was like, it just opened on takeoff. And then she had a big powwow with the pilots and whatnot, and I just moved, and they gave me a bunch of Sky Miles.
yeah.
It was
Oh,
great.
wow, that's nice.
I hope that happens every flight.
You got to figure out how
Yeah.
to make that happen. Yeah.
So that's not a mulligan. That's just something you hope
Not a
happens
mulligan.
again.
That was just
Yeah.
topical.
That's just topical. I
My
understand.
quick mulligan. I moved this past weekend,
Sin.
last few days,
Sin.
to live in Sin.
Yeah.
With my girlfriend. 2-bedroom though. We're not staying together.
Yeah, but you've committed to marrying her in a year and a half, so it's fine.
Yeah. Spoiler. Sorry, Courtney, if you're watching.
Fuck.
Nah, she knows. Hired movers, because we're at that time of our life now, which is
Yeah.
nice. And
Rich. They're rich.
but you feel so bad just
jobs.
watching these dudes just struggle, and you're like, "We paid you. We paid you."
We
I'm
paid you.
always like catching myself stopping asking if I can help because I'm like, no, I can't.
know.
I shouldn't.
I'm like quick to open doors and like I'll
Yes.
do a little help.
Yeah.
So we're walking into our house. We got a house now. Nice, thank you.
Whoa. Hey, man. Pop off.
Hey, do you
Handshake,
own it?
handshake. We don't own it. We rent.
Nice.
Which is smarter right now, apparently, with rates. I just heard a podcast about that. The Daily put one out. It's very good.
Yeah, rates are high.
Yep.
prices
So
are
they
low
had a
'cause the rates
furniture
are high.
dolly, but they're coming up a couple stairs in the house, and they have this big dresser. It's the biggest thing we have. These two guys are walking it in. There's a little lip on the door, and the dolly was just blocking the door. So they're coming up. I just kicked the dolly out to help. And they come up right in front of the door, and they're both just like trembling. And he looks back to their third guy. And he's like, "We get the dolly back. We get the dolly back." And I'm standing on the other side, and they were trying to put it on the dolly. I thought they were carrying it all the way in the house.
They had it set up to be.
They had it
Oh,
set
Aaron.
up there, and I just fully. I don't know if they thought I was like pranking them or like, "Gotcha."
Oh, you want this, Dolly?
Yeah,
Full
I
bully
apologized
vibes.
like 12 times. I'm probably annoyed them with my apologies, but I still feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I used.
I mean, they were
Hey,
just
hey.
they were.
Yeah,
It sounds
shake
like
it. Yeah,
you know
like,
what you
please.
need? A Dolly pardon. Nice.
We'll see you in the next episode.
That's
the
why
St. Andre
I'm out
Yeah,
of
we have to
Knoxville,
end on that.
Tuscaloosa.